Welcome to the Scheuneman Show, brought to you by Scheuneman Brand Clothing. We have Colin Scheuneman, other half of the Scheuneman Company, and we have Marquise Beady Boy. Mic-less today, may earn his mic time if he's a good boy. But yeah, right before we started the recording, we were talking about these new style of shoes where it's like meant to be distressed, and you get a whole new look by distressing them. And usually these people will like purposely get tools to distress the shoes so they can get the look that they're meant to have. But I was telling you, Colin, these Gobstopper shoes that this one company made. I'm pretty sure it's the same company as the Devil Lil Nas X shoes with blood in the soles. But yeah, these Gobstopper shoes, if you take a tool to them and scrape away at them, it's like different layers of colors, and it gets like, some of them are like rainbow, and some of them look like thermal-esque kind of colors, and it's like literally a collaboration with
texturized like a Gobstopper, or is it just like the colors? Is that what?
So it's texturized on the top layer. It's like
bumpy, like
not
a
like
bunch of Gobstoppers were there,
like a fuzzy kind of. I don't know the right material to say, but it's.
You gotta do your research better.
It's like they're ripped up, and if you scrape
look it up, Marquise. I mean, I'm distressed. I mean, distressing's been around forever. I'm sure a lot of shoes have gone through phases of that. I'm not a big shoe guy. I keep it pretty plain and simple. So any conversations with this are not.
Well, you have some.
You're
pretty
teaching
cool
me.
fucking shoes.
I do like cool shoes, but I don't own a pair of Nikes. You know what I mean? Like I don't.
Yeah, you don't even have Air Force Ones.
No, I don't have any of that. I just, if I see something's cool, I buy it. But like everyday shoe, I like everyday shoes a lot, so I'll just wear black. Like these are just, a black low top YSL shoe.
Yeah.
It works with everything. Easy to wear.
I believe that everybody should have some Air Force Ones in their collection.
I probably should, but
apparently little baby buys a new pair of Air Force Ones like after he wears them for the first time. He'll just like, need a new pair.
Yeah.
It's only like $90, but like.
No, I mean it's a great shoe, I'm sure.
I have a regular pair of Air Force Ones, like the classic kind, and I ended up painting those after having them for a little bit. And then I have an Air Force One that's like supposed to be the lightest shoe that Nike's ever made. And that was actually the first pair of Air Force Ones I got because I wanted to add the classic Air Force One to my collection. And then, like these ones? No, those aren't the Gobstopper ones. Just look up Gobstopper shoe.
Throw in the video after you edit it.
But what was this? Oh yeah, and then so I got that light pair, and then I also bought this new version of Air Force Ones they just dropped, where it's supposed to be like the classic Air Force One, but they're adding little pieces that like show their growth as a company, I guess. Like it's just adding different textures to it. It's like texturized leather instead of just plain smooth leather, and then they have like a little fuzzy part on the end of them. And
I have cool shoe ideas.
yeah, because we want to make shoes.
Of course. It's not something that we want to do super soon, but I want to. Yeah, I want to get into that.
If you could use, do you think you have any idea on like what style shoe you would make, or
you know what's growing on me style wise is like 3D printing shoes. I hated them at first, so Yeezy does that. The one brand I was showing you, I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation, so I'm not even gonna try.
Wasn't it pretty much just like letters and numbers, or is that?
Well, but like you can like just. It's almost like that 3D printing style. I don't know enough about it to talk about it, so like I don't want to pretend like I know. But like if you look at the way that clothes or shoes look when they're 3D printed, it's one solid piece. Like these shoes, they're stitched together, they're sewn together, right? 3D printed, it's one solid piece. There's no hems, there's no seams, there's nothing, just one piece. And it creates a very futuristic look and almost like a spacey kind of look, but there's ways you can do it that make it look clean. There's another brand that does it too. I'll pull. I mean, you've seen them, but it'll make sense once you know. Another brand that I'm gonna mess up their name. I'm terrible. 1017 ALYX.
Oh, the Al
Space.
isn't it
Yeah,
Alex or something?
yeah,
I
Alex.
know.
It's
Yeah,
some weird name. Their stuff's really cool. Their shoes are wild.
I think it would be cool to bring up the fact that the brand you were first talking about that does the 3D printing stuff. They do 3D printing shoes,
they're yeah, and
and then they 3D. These people 3D print like all their pieces, pretty much,
they're
right?
they're starting to. I don't. They're they're teasing it. So
That's just a crazy idea to me. The
yeah.
fact that they're like using futuristic techniques
Well, and
to.
that might be the future of how clothing brands are like, because then it goes into question like, does it matter where the clothes are made from if it's just being 3D printed?
Yeah,
Because there's something to say like Italians are going to sew a certain way, right? French are going to sew a certain way. American, like they're going to. I'm not saying you can't be an equally good artisan in different countries, but like there's a style and there's a love that goes into it, and obviously the material too. But if it's 3D printed,
yeah. I
doesn't
mean,
matter if it comes from your basement or in Italy.
that's just. I remember when 3D printers first came out and hearing that.
And what happens to all the designers who make the stuff? You don't need them anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
You
plus
tell the
there's that
computer
whole
what to do, and it does it.
AI designer that they're coming out with. That I mean, I think it's already out, quote unquote, but it's not been put to the test really. But it's called like Dolly. Or
I've seen
something.
stuff.
It's pretty insane.
Well, we got to think about this stuff because we're a new company and we're young and we're making our way into the market. And if new things start happening, we want to have a leg up on that. I'm not saying we should just start investing in 3D printing, but it's interesting to look into what trends are. And yeah,
It's a whole new kind of
I
competition.
think as the future goes, there's just, I mean, there's more value on. So like right now, a computer can't be a creative director, right? Because you have to be able to lead and create the vision and enforce the vision. You can have computers help you do that, but you still need the creative director. But as technology gets better, as a creative director, you might not need a whole team of designers anymore,
Yeah,
or you might not need all this you know what I mean? Because it just create if you can add something value wise that a computer can't, it's just huge right now.
yeah. I mean,
Because some of this shit's scary.
the AI doesn't really like it can't have soul in its designs or like really.
Why not?
I mean, it doesn't have that touch that a human does. Like we have feelings that are attached to certain ideas, and we have personal experiences that are attached to certain ideas, and it that
Sentimental
brings soul
value.
into it. Yeah, and I mean, it's just I don't know inspiration that's pulled and to make an idea come to life that I couldn't see AI doing as of now. But
Well,
you never know.
it's
But
gonna be a market for both. Like, sorry, did you? I don't mean
no,
to cut
no,
you off.
you're good. I was just gonna say that I feel like it might turn into a thing where the AI pulls it from like the culture and like
It,
shit that you see in the news, like and
I think
trends and all that.
I think that what you're gonna see is just a continuation of what we have now, and that's AI is being used to help certain things, right, or make things easier or faster. And I think you're going to continue to see that. I think you're going to see the presence in AI helping be more. Like if you want to make a design and there was AI tools you could use to help you make that design, you're going to do it, right? So it's just going to be more tools to be used. But then it's like, when does it hit a point where it's more, where it doesn't even need you anymore?
Yeah,
You
I
know what
mean,
I
we
mean?
always want to go to that like Terminator way of thinking, where this AI isn't helpful, but it's gonna end up hurting us by like taking our job or something like
I
that.
think
But
it would depend how like it's coded to work, right? Because if it decided to learn that, oh, humans are bad because they pollute the earth, the AI might self-teach itself like, oh, well, I'm going to do good by destroying the humans. And I don't mean that, I don't think they're going to make cyborgs walk around, but like it could look at us like a virus.
like, imagine if
You know what I mean?
like it didn't outright like do actions that bring humans down, but if it like subtly, without our knowledge, started implanting ideas into like the process of whatever it's being used to make without our knowledge and just like took us down without us even knowing, but like took our jobs by like slowly putting steps in place to just wipe us off without us even knowing before it's too late. But
I think that there's enough smart people in the world that we don't know exist who understand how bad this could get, and I don't think we as a species aren't ready for something like that, and I don't think it's really going to get there because the biggest thing about new technology is getting people to adapt to it, right? And if it's so radical and so new and so fast, you can't really adapt to it. Think of it like older people with new cell phones. I'm not getting a cell phone. I don't want to do that. Fuck the computer.
Yeah.
So think of that times a million when you're talking about people who grew up like us with cell phones, and all of a sudden all this crazy shit's coming out. I don't think it'll come out because it's just too much too fast. Humans need small incremental. I believe that humans need small incremental changes to make a real change or to adapt to something. Like you have to introduce things slowly, or people go crazy.
Yeah, like it's gonna come out, but not in the time that
We're not going to see
thinking
it.
of.
I promise you, we're not going to see it.
And like me and Marquise were just talking about this the other day.
That's probably
like,
a good thing that we're not going to see
oh
it.
yeah, we were talking about how like it started by us. We were playing GTA together, and we were like, it's crazy because I don't think we will ever, like our generation, I don't think we'll ever have the issue that our parents' generation had, where it's like, I can't work this damn phone, or I can't work this game because I'm just not used to using technology like that. But because I mean we've been doing it our whole lives, so I don't think we'll ever lose that skill. But at the same time, we realize that there's new stuff that's going to come out. Like for example, if you're using that game example, like there's VR and Metaverse type games that will come out that we'll be like, okay, I don't know how to use this though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So look at it this way. Actually, I wasn't even saying. I was thinking while you're talking. But so you have pre-internet days, right?
Yeah.
Then the internet comes out. People lose their minds. And you can go back to interviews of like Bill Gates and stuff talking about the internet and the websites, and the interviewers making fun of like, go to a website to listen to a radio. Why would you do that? You could
That's
just go to the
insane.
station on your car. That's stupid.
Yeah.
$1 billion industry.
Yeah. No.
So, but people didn't want to get onto it because they're like, computers, blah blah blah. The metaverse is Web3. I mean, that's what people dub it, right? So now that Web3 is here, we're at another divide. Who's going to stay up to date with what's cool? Or not what's cool. Who's going to stay up to date with technology, and who's going to turn into the old people?
Yeah. Just like fall off.
So as much we might think it's goofy, that shit's here to stay. Google's investing in it. Apple's investing in it. Facebook changed its name because of it. Like this is not.
I was under the impression that Facebook kind of started it. Did they not? Like, was this idea already a thing, and that's just going to be their version of it?
I don't think they did. I think the crypto community did in some way. Again, I'm not going to talk about stuff that I don't know, but they see the value in it. I'll put it that way. I don't think they started. Because in Facebook, other than creating Facebook, they don't really start things. They buy things. They bought Instagram.
Yeah.
They bought other companies. Like they just see what's working and they buy it or get into it. And the metaverse is I'll finish this point and let you talk. But the metaverse is getting to a point where, because of the current market situation, it's kind of on hold. But it's at a point kind of where the internet was when it started, where you had all these internet companies that were like randomly worth a lot of money for no reason. Like, oh, this website has pictures of cats. $5 million company. Extreme example, but it's all hype, right?
Yeah.
Most of them explode, but a few survive. The Amazons, the Apples, the Googles, the Facebooks. Same thing with the metaverse. Same thing with crypto. You're gonna have a ton of coins that are bullshit. You're gonna have a ton of projects in the metaverse that are bullshit. You're gonna have a lot of scams, like the internet did in the beginning. And then there's going to be a huge boom. And I think we're seeing that now with crypto. And then there's going to be a few that survive. And those few are going to be huge. Is it going to be Bored Apes? I don't know. Is AVAX going to survive? I don't know. Is it going to be Ethereum? I don't know.
I thought Bitcoin was going to be here for longer than it seems it's going to be.
Bitcoin is like gold. It doesn't actually do anything. It's a currency on a limited supply, and it's increasing, but it has a maximum value. So it's a storage value. It's like buying gold. It's worth something. Like gold's only worth what it's worth because people decide it's worth that.
But it's kind of tanking though, right? Like Bitcoin doesn't seem like it's doing.
People are scared right now, and we're kind of in a mini financial crisis with the inflation and stuff. People are getting scared. They're pulling their money out because they don't want to wake up and see it go to zero.
Yeah, quite a few people have already gotten pretty screwed from the rises and drops.
You got to remember, in in the stock market and crypto and anything, for there to be winners, there have to be losers.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to lose money for somebody to make money. That's just how it works.
Yeah, and going back to what you were originally saying with like how Facebook probably didn't think of the metaverse idea. They heard about it and
Fuck no,
bought
they
into
did.
it.
You think Mark's...
But like it's crazy because I've started to realize all these genius ideas or creations that you see. Like I used to think like, oh wow, it's crazy that they were able to think of that 100% on their own and they
No, they
just
buy
made
it.
it. But it's all like copied and like they take pieces from other ideas of other people and then they just add on to it. Like
it depends.
even with movies.
It depends, because you could say, I don't know the exact numbers, so let's just ballparks. I know it was absurd. But let's say that Facebook bought Instagram for $100 million. I don't know what the number was, but it was millions. If you created Instagram, I don't know how long they were around for. Let's say they were around for 5 years before Facebook bought them. I don't know. You start a company, and in 5 years, you sold it for $100 million. Are you sad about that? Or are you chilling the rest of your life?
No.
So,
I mean,
yeah, there are
you
companies
get
that
to a
copy,
point
but if
where
you
it's
buy
like,
them
I
out...
have enough. I don't really I don't need 100 million's cool. I don't really need 500 million. Like it's already a fuck ton of money.
Right, exactly. So then it would be like, do you love what you're doing? Because you wouldn't be able to do it anymore. So I know it's silly to say, but let's say that one of the big luxury fashion holding companies that control most of the market come to us and say, we want to buy you for $100 million. But let's say we're at a point, we love what we're doing. We're crushing it. We're making really good money. We love our life.
Yeah.
You selling for $100 million, or are you still living that fun life?
I mean, probably not going to sell it because...
But that's tough too, because selling a company like that's hard. Especially if we're doing it like this, because our faces are on it. Our image is on it. If you sell that image to another company, you lose the brand a little bit.
Yeah, and with
so
us,
it's almost like big offers would probably be rare.
Pretty much be selling our family name too. Like
we would.
We probably wouldn't be able to use it for anything else, and
that
would be fucked. And it's kind of weird to say because we're from a perspective of loving the industry that we're in and the like whole clothes thing. So we're like, yeah, I'm super passionate about that. So I wouldn't want to sell it because I enjoy that. But with like Facebook kind of thing or an Instagram kind of thing, it's hard for me to imagine loving what you do.
You're sitting at a fucking computer all day.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's people who do love that stuff. But
I think they like the game.
Yeah, the wins and the losses and trying to get over on
business
other
is
companies.
Technically the biggest and most competitive sport in the world.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think about how there's people who have a complete different set of interests and like I couldn't put myself into their shoes and be like, oh no, I would love to fucking code a website into like as best as it can be. Like I just can't see myself enjoying that. But there's people who do.
I'm the same way.
But yeah, it's just wild.
Well, and you think too, if you're gonna sell a company and like let's say we're living somewhere and like our whole life is just revolving around it. And when you sell it, that goes away. And if you like what you do, it's almost like your whole life is gone.
Yeah, it's got to be
like, what if you wake up every day doing Scheuneman things, and all of a sudden you don't? Oh, I have all this money. Okay, let me go vacation. Okay, year goes by. What do I do now?
Yeah, that's gonna be.
And like, what if you get a big spark of passion? You want to do something, and you're like, I can do whatever I want, but I can't use my own name now. Like, you'd have to go out as like you couldn't brand yourself.
I mean, it hurts, but we could like bounce back and just make something completely different. But you have to get over that hump of thinking like, oh wow, these people own my name. Like it's fucked. But I just realized people are gonna probably think that you're like super into these like cryptos and like just this. Like I feel like every time we've been on the show, other than like I think one of the first episodes when we talked about like the brand mostly, but everything else we've talked about like these super complicated for certain people like subjects. And it's like I'm just saying like you're interested in so much more than what it probably appears to like other people who just listen to these episodes and we're talking about like
Very-
blockchain and crypto and shit like that.
Very few people actually know who I am.
Yeah.
And that's purposely done. I mean, that's a deep discussion, but people who see me regularly don't know who I am. You know what I mean? Like I have a face on most of the day, but I have a lot of cool interests in a lot of things that I'm into, and uh, I guess my point is am I like super into crypto and the metaverse? No, not really. But I understand. I understand that I need to like be aware of how these things are working and where they're going, because
That's where the
way
world's going.
the reason that we're doing well so far of things is like we all have our roles and stuff. My job as CEO is to make sure that you have what you need to do your job. The warehouse has what it needs to do its job. Everyone can do their job, right? And where things aren't working, help fix, and then also create plans and implement them. So as we're working on stuff and implementing different plans and things, I have to always think, okay, like what's the future going to look like? Because I don't want to be the last one doing whatever. I don't want to be just hopping on the bandwagon. I want to start it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because you play a
so-
huge part in like guiding the company into
It's my job.
the right direction.
it's my
for
job.
the future.
And it's pressure. But I want to be in the know, because even if I'm not we're not the first one to do it. If somebody says, "Oh, XYZ is happening," I don't want to be like, "What the fuck is a
Yeah,
metaverse?" You know, I don't want to be that company. So
and my side of that is trying to like follow the next trends and like the next
we're the creative
thing.
director, and that has its own set of rules.
Yeah, and so we all have to do the same kind of shit where it's like we're looking into the future of what's going to be the next thing and what people will be into tomorrow, not today or yesterday.
And where trends are forecasting and all that.
Yeah, but speaking of, I was gonna say, I think I wanted to get into the next couple steps that we're taking, and some of the things that we're excited about that I haven't really brought up to many people, even in my personal life. But I thought having you on today would be a good opportunity to bring up the fact that we're about to take a little excursion and have an adventure to Florida.
Florida, yeah.
Yeah, and we're gonna bring Marquise into the state of Florida for his first ever time.
It's gonna be fun.
We're going to take him on his first ever flight and try and hold him back from having panic attacks. And we're going to be exploring our new home base. Like we're looking to we're looking to move the company.
We are
and our
moving-
team to Florida.
We are moving to Tampa. I will not stay another winter here. I'll stay one more winter here. So let's call it a year and a half.
We love
We'll be
certain
in
things
Florida.
about Ohio, but we hate a lot of things about the life in Ohio. And I think people who are from Ohio their whole life can really relate to that because, like, I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for you or Marquise, but I have a certain amount of pride in where I come from, but that comes with knowing that it gets so old being here for these long winters and, like, just being around people that don't really share the same kind of interests that we do, and they're kind of on a whole different kind of wave of thinking and living than what we're trying to do. And I just think we're looking to get into a better environment for, like, a better creative space, a better marketplace, a better, like, living space. Like, we want to be happier with where we put our head down at night, like, and
Well, there's a lot of good reasons. Depends how deep you want to go with it, I guess. We can go pretty deep. I feel like I'm at a point in my life where, I mean, they say when you get to your mid-20s, I'm 26, when you get to your mid-20s, you start to really, like, find yourself and your brain's fully developed. You know, you've had some experiences, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying you guys are dumb because you're 22.
yeah, no.
I'm at a point where, like, I feel like I know myself and I know what I want, and part of that's scary, and, you know, I've been going through some stuff, but I feel pretty good, and I feel excited about the future, and I've really learned to trust my gut recently, because it's just led me to a lot of good places, sometimes when I didn't even realize it, and so I feel like rejuvenated a little bit, and I want to go and just go somewhere and just fresh.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good reasons outside of that too, like unselfishly. Like, okay, we're at a point in the business where we're doing some really exciting things that we can talk more about later. That are going to the aftermath is going to require us to have a bigger team and have more space and do more things because we're growing. And if we grow ourselves here, if we get a warehouse here, if we hire people here, we're cementing ourselves here to an extent. And I don't want to cement myself here. You guys don't either. And it's not really a good market for us. And Florida sounds cool. I got a buddy in Florida. Shout out Corey. Can't wait to see you in a couple weeks or like a month and a half.
Yeah, we're going on a recon mission.
Yeah. So, but I want to relocate the business to Florida. No, and we chose Florida because my friend lives there. But also, we want a state with no state income tax. Florida's on that list.
And we can use some sun.
I love Tampa. It's a cool area. People shit on Florida, but we're not moving. We don't have to live there forever.
We're just jealous.
It's gonna be fun, dude. Because I've told you guys this 3 times already, but when we move down there, we get in the car, the truck, and stuff, and go. It symbolizes so much. It symbolizes all the hard work we've done. We can finally pay ourselves and live comfortably, just off of the clothes.
Yeah, doing what we love.
Because we're all sick of working day jobs. We all work a lot and do this, and it's exhausting, but it's going to be so fun to go down there and it just be our life and just a new adventure. And,
it's going to be really fun, like getting
I'm excited
to know
for the future,
people.
and that feels good.
Yeah, it's like getting to know the people and not having certain things about your past like stuck to you, and not like, kind of reinventing yourself in a way, and just meeting a whole new.
Well, you and I had this conversation the other day. It's not that you like go there and you're like, oh, well, nobody knows me, so I can trick everyone or whatever.
Yeah,
It's like,
no, we're not like hiding from things, but it's.
I did bad things in my life sometimes. We all have. We've done things we're not proud of, or we used to be different people. I'm not saying it was like drastically different, but like as you're getting older, if you're not maturing and getting wiser and becoming an overall better person, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
So
Which is crazy because people will hold you things against you and just like be stuck in the past of how they look at you. But people are really supposed to grow, evolve, and change. And then there's these people who think like people are incapable of change, but that's just not true.
I think people's cores are a little bit incapable of change, but you can learn to be the best version of yourself. You know what I mean? You can't pretend to be someone else, but you can be the best version of yourself. And when we move, I think I'm in a lot of ways the best version of myself right now. And so everyone I meet gets to meet that Colin. You know what I mean? And hopefully that Colin just keeps getting better too. Because, well, you can say this. I was a lot different when I was 18, 19, 20, or even high school.
We all had some
all
phases that were like. I think you've even looked like 4 different ways. Like I've seen you like.
I'm malleable.
All different kinds of styles and haircuts and activities, but I mean, same with me and same with Marquise. But it's gonna be super exciting because, I mean, I don't know. We don't have to get super into it, but for the first little bit of time that we're moving there, like we're gonna have this huge fucking home base of pretty much our whole team as of now.
Oh, it's gonna be stupid.
We're all gonna be like chilling together and bunked up and have our own spot. It's just always gonna be fun getting to wake up and like see, like what's Marquise doing in the morning, or what's Bob up to, and like it's just gonna be a great time.
It's gonna be silly, and it's gonna be really silly and fun in a way that we can't really incorporate by talking about right now, because we've known each other for how long? 10 years.
I've known Marquise for like 10 years now.
Yeah, because you were like 13, right, when you guys met? So yeah, like let's call it 10 years. All the dumb shit we've done, all the goofy things, all the silliness.
Have we ever told the story of how we met on here?
But there's like 10 years worth of memories that make this whole thing we're doing super cool, that I wish that you could just like.
And it's like a new chapter. I mean, I don't want to be too corny, but it really is.
Why
like,
not, dude? Be passionate about it.
The memories we have now, like, that's going to be like one chapter, and then once we move to Florida, it's like we're going to make so many new memories doing all kinds of different stuff that we've never done together before. And I mean,
Speaking of things never done together before, so what Julian was alluding to before, we are September 22nd. We are flying to Tampa. One, because I need a freaking vacation. Two, well, we all need a vacation. Two, we kind of want to scope out the area because we want to see where we want to live.
Marquise has never been on a
What's
fucking plane.
and Marquise has never been on a plane or
It's
been to
so
Florida,
insane
and it's
to
gonna
me.
be really fun.
Oh, I just hope we don't have to encounter any of those crazy headlines that you always see in Florida. Like,
Oh, dude, it's an
man
adventure.
burns cat to death with gasoline and then jumps into a pool.
I already got a whole list of cities we're gonna check out. It'll be cool.
Isn't
or
the
parts
Airbnb we're staying in when we go up here in a couple weeks, like, isn't it right next to a road called Columbus Road?
Yeah, Columbus Avenue or something like
It's
that.
nuts.
Columbus Drive. I think it's Columbus Drive.
It's another one of those
that
things
a
where
sign?
it just feels, yeah, like another
sign
one of
of the
those
universe?
signs.
Am I the only one who's getting like the universe is just not to get all spiritual, but just something just feels right in the air
I mean, things just keep falling into place in a really nice way, and
in ways you can never make up.
I mean, we could talk about a big subject that has to do with a lot of things
up,
falling
Marquise?
into place, but
Speaking of that, you remember like how like the good mojo and everything, and you caught me like not saying the B word as much and everything like that. It's so funny because like I feel the same, like the good vibes in the air. I just want to keep it that way. And
Oh yeah, and we need this.
yeah,
me and Marquise used to talk like sailors and shit, and like I still do, but it's just funny because I've caught you like you try to stop yourself from saying like curse words, and it's just hilarious. You're like, yeah,
Everything's
I don't want that mojo. And I guess it's paying off for all of us because the mojo is pretty dandy right now.
What makes I have times where I'm feeling a little rough, but what makes me smile and keep my sanity is I really like how everything's just getting everything we're doing we're getting better at.
Yeah,
Not saying the podcast is amazing yet. Episode 1 to now, huge.
yeah.
How we design clothes, then to now, huge. How everything I'm getting a grasp on how to do my job with all this, and and now with new stuff coming out, we have people to go, so we can get the pictures done, the models, blah blah blah. We've done the stuff, and it's just fun to watch it get better. And it's like, damn, like if we can get that much better, and let's call it 4 months.
Yeah,
Think about
it's wild, and I mean, it's really crazy because
get in on the growth early before we have to hear "I told you so."
yeah, it's
Clip
just
it.
oh fuck, I forgot what I was about to say. God damn it. It's crazy to see, and I mean, we've made a lot of new steps, and I'm stuck on what I was about to say, and it just
Let's
left.
wait till the next. Let's wait for like a couple more weeks before we do the teaser on the drop. Because there's a couple things that we haven't finalized yet, as far as like locations for certain events and certain people that might be involved.
Yeah,
So maybe we'll bite our tongue on it. But we're doing a really cool thing.
I've been pretty subtle about it.
Yeah, you
just
can do
talking
it.
about. I mean, it's a huge thing that's coming, and we're super excited about it. And I mean, I never would have thought that something like this could happen, but
It's gonna be cool.
it's an amazing opportunity. But
You want to interview me, Julian? Ask me some dumb questions.
I will in a second. I always get so stuck when like a thought literally just leaves your head, and especially
Ask
in
me
a
some goofy
situation
stuff.
like this, it's just right gone like that. It's gonna bother the hell out of me. But
What do you want to know deep in the mind of Colin Scheuneman?
I'll get into a.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
We'll
I'm not trying to take over your show.
No, you're fine. But I'll talk about some subjects. We'll get into more of the classic kind of episodes that we have, and
I was just teasing you.
No, I'll pepper in some questions for the mind of Colin. But God, this is.
See, I'm
bothering
trying to
the
save you
hell
from
out of-
talking about bothering.
No, I know, but I gotta talk about
You're
it.
not
'cause
taking
it's
the
like-
lifeline. You're not
It's
taking the lifeline.
crazy. Oh fuck. Well, all right. We can talk about. Well, this is kind of Colin related. There, I have this memory of going to. I used to go to school and I would always wear like crazy stuff. That's kind of how I got into fashion and picking out cool clothes that I like. It's because I would try and get reactions out of people based on what I would wear, whether that be just humorous things or crass kind of inappropriate things, or it would be like, oh,
Got some stories about
you
that.
spent that much on a belt, and then teachers would like lose their minds about it. But one of the first things that I did with dressing crazy or getting into clothes was I actually picked up one of your sweatshirts, Colin.
Which one?
A it was like a galaxy background, and then in the front was like this cat that had like
Oh.
upside down crosses for eyes and like
Yep.
well no upside down cross on the forehead and like black eyeballs, and it was like
I wish I saw
very
that.
subtly satanic.
No, it had upside down cross on its head.
Yeah, that's really it. And then I wore that to school, and I had these like I think it was like a group of twins that like freaked out about it, and they were so disturbed. They were like, "What is that? Like that's so bad." And like just talking about it, not even really to me, but to people. And then it got around the school, and like I guess teachers started talking about it all in the same day that I was wearing it. And then I got pulled into the principal's office, and they tried to tell me that I had to take it off and everything. And I was like, well, I'm not quite sure what the issue is with what I'm wearing. Like, what is it? And they started kind of alluding to how it was like satanic or like making people feel upset or uncomfortable. And I was just like, well, that's kind of funny because I'm pretty sure there's like you can't get upset with me because of the religion that this is supposed like to you having to do with. So if I was actually satanic and I wore this shirt as satanic pride, like you can't
Freedom
get
of
upset
religion.
with that. It was
Freedom
like
of religion.
separation of church and state, and like you can't even really bring that up to me because if I wore a shirt that had like a regular cross on it, like you can't kick me out because of my
Yeah,
religion.
People get it, yeah.
And so I was just like, I don't think you can really do that. And they were like stuck with that. And I don't even think I think they kind of gave up. They were just like, I guess you have a point, but please don't wear it again.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it was
I have a story like that too.
what's your story? While I try and
took
remember what I was thinking about.
Yeah, you took after my steps, I guess. But while you're talking about the galaxy thing, it reminded me. So back when I was in high school, I was like an emo kid, I guess. Yeah, scene kid, whatever you call it. I had black hair, wore black a lot. In that community of people, for whatever reason, Galaxy Cats was just cool. Anything like cats and Galaxy was just like it was just an
Like the
aesthetic.
neon cat. or
Yeah,
however you
exactly.
say it.
It's like a hot topic thing, right? You go into Hot Topic, you see stuff like that. It was emo culture, whatever you want to call it, emo goth, whatever. But yeah, I remember that shirt, and I can picture it in my mind. I forgot it existed. I wonder what happened to it.
I don't know. It might have been put into a bird cage
was
to
kinda
get
cool.
shit on by your roommate's birds.
We're not gonna
or
go
that
into
might
that.
have been my shirt. I don't know.
Oh man,
I have a story about shirt thing. All right, so I went to school wearing the
I
scumbag.
didn't even get to tell my story.
Well, yeah, you
2 seconds.
Go ahead.
I don't even remember the details on it. I had a shirt. It was basically the same thing happened to you. I had a shirt, and it was just a black shirt with white print that said "Me and Satan are like this," and had like the fingers crossed, and like we're tight. Me and Satan are tight.
Jeez.
I got called to the principal's office for it. Well, no, the deans brought me down. You remember what were their names at Thomas? The deans.
There was Mr.
Blue Ball? Wasn't it like Blue?
In your era, I think
Yes.
Blue Ball was that role, but
Didn't he get
my era
promoted?
it was like Mr. Scully, and then there was this Mr.
I never had Mr. Scully.
What was that older guy with short gray hair? Yeah, it was, but that guy. But back in your day, I think Mr. Blue Ball was.
Yeah, well, the deans brought me down, and then I waited for the principal to come out, and it was a girl. I remember her name.
Ew.
We're not going there. and they were like, "Can we get him in trouble for this?" And she was like, "I mean, no, it's annoying, but he can wear it if he wants." And I was like, "Cool, I can be annoying. I'm good at that."
It's,
It
it's
was
just
fine.
annoying when they
You
want
know
to
what's
get
funny,
mad
though?
at stuff like that.
The day after, like, because I bought these shirts at the same time. I had the other shirt. You'll remember this one too. It says, "I'm not gay, but $20 is $20."
I remember that one.
They had no problem with that shirt.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
In my opinion, that shirt is like
So
worse
basically,
than any of those other shirts.
I
Yeah,
can
that
I
would
can
be
confidently
worse.
say that Thomas's views are gay people are fine, but Satanists suck.
So with mine, freaking,
No pun intended.
I went to school and I was wearing a skate shirt. It literally like on the front it says like skate team from Compton, all this stuff, and then on the back it says scumbag, like a jersey type deal. Yeah, So I literally walk in there and I'm wearing that, and they're like, "Yo, it says scumbag. Here, I have a shirt. You have to take that off. I have a shirt." And literally, the shirt they gave me, literally like, basically described why I was wearing this shirt. It was because I had profanity on my other shirt. Right? I go to class, and I shit you not, this one kid comes in, and he's wearing an Enjoy shirt, and it's literally two pandas fucking, and they didn't give a shit. They didn't say
It's-
one thing.
If it's on Animal Planet, it's okay.
It's natural in the ecosystem or whatever. But speaking of clothes and like early memories with fashion and stuff, like this ties into how me and Marquise met. I mean, we met when we were at this dance at like middle school or something, and I was
Were you guys each other's dates?
no, I was not at this time, not yet.
2 dresses, 1 in the dress. How was it?
I was
2 suits?
I was with this girl, and like I think it was like a basketball game tied together with a dance or something, and I was trying to talk to her, but she was one of those girls that was like super shy. Like we were still early on into it, and she couldn't even get a word out, and she was just kind of sitting there in silence, and I didn't really know what to do. I was like 12 or 13, and I was just trying to deal with that, and apparently before I came into the picture,
I have to sneeze.
they had the Marquise and this girl had a history, and so at some point she like went to the bathroom and ran into Marquise and started like saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm with this guy, and this is what I'm doing here."
Kiss me. That's what it was.
No, you were like saying how like I was uncomfortable or something, and I was like, "No, I'm perfectly fine." But this girl like literally won't talk. Like I can't do anything with that. Like if you're not gonna speak, then what are we doing here? And then I like was kind of annoyed that like the way that you brought it up at first, and I was like, "No, dude, like let me explain it to you." And then I was like talking to you about that whole thing, and we went to go like get a snack or something, and as we were going to get the snack, I realized like, oh shit, I don't even have my wallet. And so he was like, oh well, I can just walk back to your house with you if you live close, and we'll go get the wallet, and then I'll coach you on how to talk to girls. And then in that time, I was like explaining to you like, no, that's not the issue. And so we walked back to my house together, and like that was like really the first time we ever met or talked or anything. And pretty much from there on out, we were friends. But I remember that while we were walking back, I like looked at how you were dressed, and like you actually had like an outfit on, and then I looked down at myself, and I had like a long sleeved brown plain t-shirt. Like it was just brown. And then I was wearing like athletic shorts that were like silver and neon green. So no outfit at all, made no sense and looked like shit. And hanging out with Marquise all the time started like making me think about, oh, like I'll get into this and this kind of skate culture clothes, and I'll start
Once you
like,
get into
thinking
it,
about what I wear. And
it goes deep.
yeah, I mean, before that I didn't really care, but
I was the same way.
once we started hanging out all the time, I just like, I don't know, I guess it was like a healthy competition. I guess we would go get clothes together, and then I would like, I don't know, we just taught each other things about each other's styles, and it was just a
Well, you can
a
learn
little introduction into it.
fun things about yourself when it comes to styling, and it's powerful, right? So if you're feeling fun, you want to be a bit funky, you can make it cool. Or if you just want to be chill, you can be chill and just feeling good in what you wear.
Yeah, and I mean the different people that you meet can really have
It's a whole community,
an
right?
effect on how you dress and everything. And I'll pick up tips from like if I'm in a relationship, I'll pick up tips from what they were into, and then I'll mix that with what I'm actually into, and then
Well, so yeah, your
it's
style
kind of
evolves over
evolved.
time.
Yeah, and then after a while, I really had my own way of wanting, like how I wanted to dress, and that kind of turned into just like really crazy out there popping pieces. Like I like huge pops of color, or clothes that have like a statement, or clothes that just kind of make you either laugh or get offended. Like I always loved getting shit from the teachers about what I was wearing, and I would try and
You like to be loud.
I would like walk that line of what I can wear without them getting like they want to be able to get mad, but they can't get mad. Like one of my favorite hoodies of all time was this Supreme hoodie, and it was like white, but then had all these multicolored words like all over it, and the words were like some of them were like subtle curse words or like phrases, and like one of the phrases was like eat shit die, or like fuzzy, and then there would be like FML or just like shit like that. And it was made by this like Japanese streetwear brand, and
Which one?
Hysteric Glamour.
Okay.
And so they did this collaboration with Supreme. So it was Supreme Hysteric Glamour. And I guess the reason that they picked like little curse words or phrases was because like in general they didn't really know the English language, I guess, when they started. So they would like what's the first thing you learn when you're learning a new language? Like it's usually like curse words or silly
Profanity,
shit to
yeah.
say. And so that's what they did. They just like got these curse words and phrases that were simple and put them on this hoodie, and it just
It's interesting, because cuss words are pretty universally known
yeah.
in languages.
I mean, the first like I went to Spanish class in school and everything.
Yeah, you learn caca and puta madre and all that stuff.
I mean, especially like I learned more Spanish in McDonald's, learning like curse words and then phrases and then sentences and then just like putting it all together with what I knew before. But like I learned more in McDonald's than I think I did in like all my years of Spanish class in middle school and high school. And
I work with some there's some Guatemalans that work in the kitchen where I serve at, and yeah, they don't know very much English. I don't know much Spanish, but we learn more English and learn more Spanish. And
Yeah.
it's fun. And
Spanish is a weird language because
I work with Chinese people too. That's interesting.
oh yeah,
I work
mean,
with-
that's a hard one.
4 Guatemalans and 3 Chinese people.
But
Very different cultures.
with Spanish, it's like
Chinese people hate Americans, by the way. I probably shouldn't even talk about this.
I feel like a lot of different people hate Americans. We're kind of easy to hate. We're gluttonous and
We're the opposite of Asian culture.
yeah. Other than the working hard and shit, like we
Chinese people, Asia works.
they work harder, but there's a lot of Americans really respect the working hard and busting your ass.
Oh, no, of course. I just meant there's a cultural difference.
No, yeah, I know what you mean.
That's a whole discussion, though.
But like with what I was saying with like the Spanish language is there's different like subsets of Spanish. Like
Yeah, Guatemala.
Spanish that you learn how to speak in school is not always going to match up with the Spanish they speak in certain parts of.
Well, there's multiple
Mexico
there's
or
different
South
countries
America.
yeah, there's different countries that speak Spanish, but it's their own version of it.
I don't know if it was like that reason why this happened, but there was this one time I was in this restaurant in Mexico with my family, and
Was in Cabo or Cancun?
I think it was Cabo. Yeah, it was Cabo.
Like right before COVID happened.
Yeah, and I had maybe a couple too many margaritas, and
It's never too many when you're on vacation.
yeah, I was testing out these.
We're gonna have a couple too many every night in Florida.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a good time. I was testing out these phrases with the wait staff, and some of them were liking it and laughing, and then
Wait, is this when we went to the chicken place with Cole?
no,
kinda-
not that
It
one.
was kind of like Pollo
We got to
Hermanos
tell
from-
that story though for
Yeah.
sure. But so I was like saying random shit, making people laugh, and then when they brought our food over, I was asking for like the hottest hot sauce they had, and then
Mucho caliente.
yeah, so I was like, let me get whatever you think is the hottest stuff you have here, because I'm super into hot sauce and I think I could take it. And at some point when they were bringing it over, I said what I thought meant like my asshole was gonna be on fire. And then when I said it, like this lady's eyebrows just like went right up, and she was like so shocked. She was like, "What? Don't say that! Don't say that!"
How'd you say your asshole?
I can't remember right
Culo
now.
is ass.
Yeah, I had this. I just because of like being in the podcast, I can't bring it up
it's
to my
fine.
memory, but like I learned some of the worst things that you can say from people that I worked with at McDonald's. And I said like one of those, and they had told me it had something to do with hot asshole, and and this lady was stunned, and she was like, "Please don't ever say that anywhere ever again." And
You want to hear a funny story from serving at sushi I got the other day?
yeah, but first let's
Okay,
talk
yeah.
about the chicken spot that we went to, because this was funny. We went to Cabo, like this family vacation, and I brought my friend Cole. He's been on the show before, and me, Cole, and Colin decided to go get chicken. And what we knew was the most dangerous city. And
We purposely went out to go and walk all of the touristy areas. So we were in Mexico, and when you're in Mexico, you're in an Americanized area, right? You're in Mexico, but it's a resort or it's a whatever. It's Americanized. We wanted to go out and just adventure and just see what was out there. And so we went out to go find food outside, like actually in real Mexico, not Americanized Mexico.
But I looked this up, like before we went. I knew that the murder rate in this part that we were going to
Highest.
was like the highest in like I think it was like the highest in North America or something. Like
It is
was,
mainly gang violence, though,
yeah, but it was just
or
like
cartel violence.
it was, and plus it's usually you don't want to be there at night, but in the daytime it's
Well, it's an American. They don't really want to. We knew that they don't want to fuck with us really, because if they fuck with an American, the FBI gets involved.
Yeah,
and
that
they don't want the
brings down
FBI
a
snooping
lot of
around.
heat.
Exactly.
but we found this chicken spot that was
You want to tell them about how when we were walking there, just like the looks we would get from people and like people stopping their cars in the middle. Like,
yeah, I mean it was, I mean pretty much that they would just kind of break their necks.
They couldn't believe the two white people were walking around.
Yeah, and like I'm sure your tattoos threw them off a little bit. And
I was wearing a purple sweater too. I was not dressed.
yeah, I think we were being a little goofy.
No, I mean it was some nice clothes. It was just, I don't want to say flamboyant, but like
I mean, I was wearing Bape shorts that were like rainbow colors.
Yeah, I think I was wearing black skinny jeans and like an oversized, like purple sweater.
Oh, you were. I think you were wearing my Bape.
Yeah, the Bape hoodie.
Yeah. So
And we were taking
out.
We were taking pictures too, which
Yeah, it was stopping and taking pictures in the hood, and
people
that
would
has
like.
a certain look.
You remember that girl in the Mercedes that just like dead stopped in the middle of the road, rolled down her blacked out windows, just stared at us, confused.
Yeah, I think I do. I there's a lot of shit that was crazy happening.
I still have
on
those
that
pictures
trip.
on my Instagram.
Like there was the guy that came up to me and Cole on the beach, and he had like
Oh,
literally a robe on. He was like wrapped in all these like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if this is bad to say, but he looked like a terrorist. Like, and he had like a cast on his whole forearm and like covering his hand, and he looked a little disheveled. And he walked up to us and pretty much tried to sell us weed, but he looked so sketchy right off the bat that
So you and Cole are sitting at the beach at night.
yeah, we're just
Some guy comes up and is just asking you for weed, or it says if you want to buy weed, right?
yeah, we were sitting at the beach at night, and we were even talking about wanting to get weed. But then this guy comes from like out of nowhere, just walks up to us, and he starts talking to us. And me and Cole kind of made this look at each other right in the beginning, like we're not buying off of this guy. Like we kind of knew, and
It was a setup.
yeah, I mean he told us like, oh, go meet me at this bathroom in like 20 minutes. I'll go get it.
Well, I mean, you guys are excited, right? Because you're in Mexico. You can't just bring weed to Mexico, and you probably wanted to smoke, right?
We wanted to smoke, but
Yeah.
like I was saying, like we knew so fast how sketchy this guy looked.
Pictures.
We'll put this on the podcast.
Send them to Marquise.
But we just knew he was not good. So we were never going to meet up with him. And he pulled out his phone, if you want to call it that, to get our numbers or whatever. And it was like a I forget what they call them, but like a tracker phone, like a Motorola, but like worse, like a flip
Well,
phone.
and what they probably do is they do that, and then you buy the weed, and then all of a sudden you're arrested.
Well, like,
And then the cops are probably like $20 and we'll let you go.
yeah,
Oh, you don't
or
want to give us
more
20?
than that.
Well, yeah, whatever it is, you don't want to go. It's like, oh, okay. Well, I guess you're gonna have to spend a night in a Mexican prison. How's that sound?
Well, if you remember, we went back to our hotel room and we were kind of just
Yeah,
watching
the cop
from a
car
distance.
came, right?
Yeah, he was like shining his light at us and like trying to motion us over and all that. And then after a while, he just kind of went to the bathroom and didn't leave. And we were still watching, kind of laughing about the whole situation and a little spooked. And then a cop car pulls up and he gets in the cop car and they like leave for a second and then come back. And then he was there for a while after that. And then another car pulled up and then they like switched shifts or something. Like it was really weird.
Well,
like,
think about it. You're going to these resorts where there's Canadian people, Americans, maybe people from Europe. You just walk down the beach and it's like, oh, I can get some. Like, they probably get people like that all the time.
oh yeah, there's like a whole groups of people that go to touristy spots
Oh, yeah.
and then they make their living off of
It
something.
might even be a real cop.
Yeah, I mean, we were joking around about what he could have possibly wanted to do if we were there. Like, he's either going to want money or like our kidneys or something. Like,
It is, and it's true that in Mexico, I used to know what their like salary was, but it's so small. It was something like ridiculous, like $300 a month, like nothing. And so like I guess actually for a police officer in Mexico to actually like pay their bills and feed their family, they have to take bribes because otherwise they don't make any money.
yeah.
Like it's an insulting amount.
No, it was like 8 cents an hour or something.
It
We were
was
looking
like
at houses down there, and it was like mansions and estates for like $300,000.
Yeah, it's crazy. But
Cabo was amazing. That was so fun.
oh yeah, we got to go back.
And dude, remember when we were leaving, and when we got to the airport, we were like waiting around for
Yeah, our flight got
way
delayed.
longer than we were supposed to. And then
This is right before COVID happened too.
Yeah, this was. It
We were
was
talking
so
about
close to
COVID. We were
that-
talking about it while it was there. It's like this is thing in China happening.
Yeah, and it was so close that we were lucky to get into the country when we did, and then
airlines shut
also
down
we
a
were
week
worried
after we got
about
back.
getting out.
Yeah,
To put it in perspective, while we were there, South by Southwest got canceled, which like never happens. So we knew that shit was about to hit the fan, and it might be hard for us to get back. So
who did we fly through when we went there? Was it American?
I have no
United?
idea.
I
But
don't remember.
when we got to the airport, we're waiting, and then we heard that our flight got canceled because this guy went like crazy on the flight and started screaming
This
and
is
fighting.
when we still didn't know what COVID was really. We knew it was a thing and it was scary, but like we didn't know it wasn't really in America yet.
Yeah. So we were worried about even being able to get out, and then this whole thing with
We
the
got
crazy
claustrophobic
guy.
as hell. I remember
Yeah.
at the airport.
Well, what happened was this guy went crazy, canceled our flight, and they were like, "Sorry, we won't be able to get you home tonight, but tomorrow we have a flight for you." And then we're like, "Fuck, we're gonna have to stay at the airport?" And they're like, "No, we got you." And then they sent us to this like 10 times better resort.
Oh, I forgot that it was I forgot that about. I just remembered that. I knew we stayed somewhere, but I just clicked like that was a nice ass place.
Yeah, no, it was like
Did we get
really
like a free
nice.
dinner and stuff too?
Yeah, it was a free dinner, and they put us up in a good room, and it was like huge. It was like a whole compound, but it was like super luxurious. And
I forgot about that.
I remember me and Cole were walking around that place like really all night, like probably till like 3 or 4, and we were just talking about all kinds of stuff. And then like the last hour, Cole just scared the shit out of me because he was talking about how bad COVID could get and also how easy it is for the world to just end. Like we were just talking about how bad it could get, and he was telling me about how he had this nightmare of like waking up in his house and then people with gas masks came in and like tried to take his family and he had to like kill him. And so we were talking about the end of the world and all this, and it was freaking me out, and I barely got any sleep. And then we go to the airport the next morning, and I just had COVID on the brain, and I like got sick from being so anxious about all the COVID. And I remember like wrapping my shirt around my mouth because I didn't have a mask, and like just being super nervous that I was gonna get this mysterious sickness. And
now it's just a thing that's really annoying.
I mean, yeah, it's now we know it's like a rough flu, but it's still a crazy virus to me because it's like you do get these people that are so affected by it and like these long-term effects, and like some people die from it, but for most of us it's like, I mean, I've had it a couple times, it's not that bad. And people were like, I mean, you remember Italy, like in Italy so many people died. Like there were bodies in the streets.
Well, this has been talked about so much. Like it's just like, why does it ravage some places and other places it's like it doesn't exist? I don't know. I know that the Italy thing, in Italy, it's their culture. Families live together. Like actually in Italy, like if you have a job at 22 or 23, that's weird.
Yeah.
You should be still living with your family and doing stuff. Like you don't really start a career till you're older there. It's very family oriented. And they're very big on like, that's a separate discussion. Basically, a lot of people in small areas.
Yeah, and
Like,
also
it's not weird for like in an apartment for your whole family to live there. And also, people in Italy fucking smoke. I need to work on the F-bombs. People in Italy smoke a lot. It smells like, apparently Milan smells like an ashtray, but people smoke. There's a lot of old Italian smokers, and they all live close together. So it kind of makes sense why I would run through.
Well, plus, it gets so hot during the day that it's actually in the culture that people do most of their social activities like at night. So you have a lot of people getting sick because they're out going to social gatherings and there's no sunlight to kill the virus.
That's fair.
So a lot of people have been talking about how that could
you'd be
possibly be it.
you'd be vitamin C or vitamin D deficient, so that would
Yeah, I mean, even the kids apparently they'll go out at night because you'll melt during the day. Like
well, everyone should take
super
vitamin
hot.
D because we don't get enough sun. Nobody does. Real quick, just because it made me think of it, because I mentioned smoking. Pretty good boy about the cigarettes now, but when I drink, I still like to smoke. You know what's kind of cool about Florida?
What?
Every bar and club has ashtrays.
Oh, you could smoke inside clubs? Oh, that's crazy. You can't smoke a cigarette in a bar.
Oh, like full on cigarette.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's like most bars and clubs have ashtrays on all the tables.
And it's also like, you had told me this a couple of times, but I looked more
Smoking
into it.
inside the building. Not restaurants, but bars.
It's like a known thing that strip clubs are aggressive.
Oh,
Like-
do you really want to talk about that?
No,
I'll
not
tell the story if you want.
I mean, not. I wasn't looking to do that, but you can if you want. But I'm just saying, like, it's known that when you go to Florida strip clubs, they like are assertive. They get in your face and do more.
They want to make money.
but they're doing more than any other strip clubs that we've been to in Ohio.
It's because strip clubs are state regulated, so every state gets to make the. You're not allowed to have full on prostitution. Does it happen? Of course, but is it legal? No. But certain states have different rules. In Ohio, to be fully nude, you can't have alcohol. So it has to be
you have
BYOB.
to bring it yourself.
Right, BYOB.
Yeah.
You can't serve alcohol and be nude. If there's any alcohol that's being sold, then there has to be at least pasties. And also in Ohio, it's also a law, no touching, which gets broken a lot, but it is a law.
So is that not a rule in Florida?
No. So Florida's law is there's really no, like, you can have full nude and alcohol. You can have touching. You can't, and when I say touching, I don't mean sexual touching.
yeah.
But like, you
Nice
know.
boob.
Yeah, like stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can do all that. And of course, only touch your strippers if she's comfortable with it, or he.
Well, my knowledge of strip clubs is literally so low
Well-
that I thought touching was a rule that you couldn't break in all strip clubs, because in GTA 5 when you touch the strippers you have to wait for the guard to walk away. So
From my understanding in Ohio, if the stripper you're with, if she is comfortable with you, I imagine she wouldn't care. But I also know that like the dances, the rooms they do the lap dances or the VIP rooms, 24-hour camera monitored, and they have to be because some weirdo starts attacking a girl.
there's weirdos in strip clubs.
Yeah, I know, right? But I've heard of places where, like, if they see the guy start touching the girl or something, even if she's okay with it, they'll be like, "No, cut it off," because they're worried about getting fined by the state of Ohio. Because I'm sure undercover people go into strip clubs all the time just to see what they can get away with. So I think you have to know people to get the goods in Ohio. But in Florida, you know what? I'll tell you my experience. Sorry, Mom. I went there one with Matt. And we kind of joked about it first. I was like, you know what? Let's see what it's like. Because I knew it would be different. It was in Miami. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but it's what you expect with the whole. I mean, there's fully nude and there's alcohol. They're very pushy. I'd have people come up to me and like literally hand down my pants and underwear. How you doing? Like, you want to dance? You blah blah blah. And it was fun. We hung out. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm calling my mom. No, I didn't spend a bunch of money, but I got a lap dance, and the girl's like, "You can finger me if you want." And I'm just like, "What the fuck?" I didn't do it, but
It's such a culture shock when you come from a place.
well,
like
it
that.
is. It was weird. And then the strangest thing though is I think we went in with like $200 each. It's like we'll spend $200 on lap dances or whatever and just get out. Just Matt had never been to one ever, so that was kind of fun too. He had never experienced it anywhere, so he's ruined because anywhere else he goes is gonna suck now. But as we were trying to leave, I remember
Suck is no suck.
Matt was finishing up his last dance, and I was like, I mean, we were pretty toasty, but I remember Matt was like, "I'm going to do this last dance, just hang out here." I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to hang out for a second. I'm going to go use the bathroom. I'll meet you up front." I go to the bathroom, and everyone's come up. This is like later in the night. We came kind of earlier on purpose when it was less crowded. We came at like 10 o'clock at night. We were leaving around 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. It's packed, just crazy. Because people are coming from bars and all this stuff.
Is this in Tampa too, or is
No,
that
Miami. This is Miami. But I've heard it's the same there. Well, I guess we can find out.
Yeah.
We should it's just interesting. But as we're leaving, when I went to the bathroom, people are coming up to me. I'm like, "No, I'm like a pee, okay, whatever." As we're leaving, two girls come up.
Get away from me! I'm gonna pee on you.
Two girls come up to me, and shamefully convinced me to do one more dance. So I was like, I've never had a lap dance from two girls at once before. I gotta chuck that off the list, right? I just sound like a piece of shit on here.
No.
It's life experiences, right?
Come on.
I respect them.
You're in your early
Yeah.
20s.
I respect them.
And dude, I remember one of the first times that I went to a strip club with Marquise.
I'm not done with my story.
Oh, okay. Keep going.
Almost.
You paused. I thought
I
it
know.
was my way to get in.
But so I did that, and then they got very touchy with me in my no square, and they were like, $500, and we'll take care of this for you in the VIP room. And part of me was really curious what that would get me. Like, does that mean
Herpes? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right. No, but it's like one of these, or like what does this get me?
For the people listening, you talking about blowjobs or a hand job?
Yeah. So it was a curiosity thing, but then I was like, no. And then I saw Matt. I was like, okay, Matt, we gotta go.
Matt, you can suck me off. Let's go,
Yeah, and we left.
dude. So this one time,
Matt got the girl's number. If you remember the girl that he was. occupied by
didn't he have me like prank text her or something?
a bunch of people. Yeah, he did a Matt thing with it.
Yeah.
That poor girl.
This one time, I went to a strip club with Marquise, and it was one of
You
those.
went to Dirty Dancer, right, or whatever it's called, Private Dancer.
I don't know.
That's where you went, right, in the West Side.
We
We talked about it.
It was a bring your own beer one.
Yeah, okay, you were at
And
Private
then,
Dancer.
So they were fully nude, and it was like my first time going to a strip club, and so right off the bat, I'm like, oh shit, these girls are like actually completely naked. That's crazy. And then we started to notice that I don't know how normal this is, but every single one of them had a butt plug in.
I know.
And they were all like
Uh,
glow in the dark and like disco ball butt plugs.
That's a dirty place, man.
Dude, it's gotta be some of the. I mean, you'd be surprised. Some of the girl, it looked incredibly dirty, and it was like kind of dingy. But some of the girls in there are like really beautiful, but
Oh, of
they're
course.
beautiful ladies. But it was just crazy seeing all of them had butt plugs to the point where I was like, is this like a sanitation thing where they're like not
It's
wanting your
it's a
butthole
job,
to leak
though.
or something?
Yeah,
And I was just imagining like, what if you just fucking yanked it out of their butt?
you're horrible.
Try and like collect as many butt plugs as you can get without them noticing.
I was gonna say something about all this.
Oh, buttholes. But
Yeah, I think that it's. I mean, sex work is interesting. You should.
I think it should be legal.
You own a strip club?
No, it's a massive liability. It sounds terrible.
Yeah, and like all your employees have to kind of hate you.
Well, they're not
and if
employees.
not-
They're private contractors, so they rent the space from you. That's how that works.
Oh,
So
so they're pretty much they're like,
the club takes a cut of what you make, and you keep the rest.
are you paying for stage time? Is that it, or like?
I would. It's mine. I don't know how exactly that, like the details of that work. I do know that they're independent contractors. It's like driving for Lyft. You can drive for Lyft whenever you want, whenever you want. You can work at whenever club, whenever. I think that you have to get accepted into a club, and then you're expected to be. I don't know if you have a schedule necessarily, but I think you're expected to be there a certain amount of time. And I mean, there's rules with it, right? Like, it's not like I don't think you like have a weekly schedule. Like, oh, I work from here to here. I think you work as much or as little as you want. But if you work too little, and they're just gonna like.
They should make stripper lifts, like stripper Uber, where they're just
Yeah,
like
because-
half naked while they
Because a
drive.
strip club by itself is not a big enough liability. Lyft by itself is not a big enough liability. Let's just make a colossal fucking
Yeah,
nightmare.
they're just you get like you tell them how many people you're gonna have in the car, and if it's one, they fill up every other seat with like half naked women, and then you just that'd be a really probably an uncomfortable car ride. You just like
I need a lift.
Just wait. Just wait until it's already probably happened to an extent, but wait until Web3, the metaverse. I like saying Web3 better. It sounds less
I've
cheesy.
never heard of that one.
You've heard that term, haven't you? Yeah. Like I forget what Web 1 was. Web 2 is like the .com things, and then this is Web 3 now. It's a new layer to the internet.
I mean, aren't they gonna pretty much make like
But think of all the weird,
simulations where you could just
dude, the weird
have
sex things
sex
that are
pretty
gonna
much?
come. Oh, I'm sure they will. VR sex. I mean, I'm sure there's stuff like that. Doesn't Pornhub have a VR thing?
yeah. There's all kinds of ads that pop up. I don't know how real.
If
all
you
of
could
them are,
capture
but
the feeling of feeling, like if I could touch you in the metaverse and it would feel the same as real life.
well, they're probably gonna
Game
make
over.
like a vest for your dick where it's like it can
They already got the
pick
sex
these
robots.
things up, and I mean, plus you could always have like a contraption that feels really legit, and then you use that as you're going through the VR. But
We're probably not far off from like AI full body sex robot, because like you can buy a full body. What do you call that now? It's not a blow up doll because it's. What do you call a sex doll? Is that just what they're called? Yeah.
sex robot. Some people.
But you can get those now, and they look pretty
The
realistic.
fucking stand-up comedian Whitney Cummings, no pun intended. She did a special with a sex doll. Like not even a sex doll. Like she bought a robot that talks and all this shit. Looks real. Can't have sex. Has a vagina. All that. And then she brought it out on stage and did part of the special with the sex robot up there. And it's just like, holy shit, there's like, this stuff really exists. And
Well, whenever some new technology comes out, it's going to be used in every way, whether it's super weird or like super helpful or super dark or super bad.
that's
Look-
gotta be
look at the
so
internet, dude.
good for civilization to be able to take your impulses out on an AI thing.
That will be something that's going to be studied, and it'll be really interesting to see what the results of that are.
I mean, if they do it well, like that's got to like satisfy some part of
Yeah.
your sick brain. So
The debate would be, does it satisfy? How many? Will it satisfy a lot of people? I'm sure it will, because
does it push you to do it in
like-
your life?
right. So, for example, like if you're, as all guys will understand this, if you're really horny, and if you're really horny, you can go beat off and you're not horny anymore, right? So maybe watching the porn to help
Wait,
you
beat off?
climax. Yeah, like like if you're really horny, and then you masturbate, you're not horny anymore. So let's say you might want to. Let's say you're
Masturbate? What is masturbating?
stop.
No, why are you guys fucking with me? What is that? Like, can you imagine? I had a fucking epiphany, and I just found that out right now. I'd stop the podcast and go whack it.
Because you could say like, okay, well, I'm horny. You shouldn't ever cheat on your girlfriend anyway, but if it makes you not impulsed anymore by watching porn and jacking off, as opposed to going and sleeping with someone that you could sleep with who's not your girlfriend, it helped you not do the urge, right?
Yeah.
But you could also, but it's not the best analogy.
I just feel like if they do it so well and there's a realistic feeling and look, then you can really get that experience.
What if you get addicted to it so much that you do it so much, and then psychologically doing it in the real world is like, it's almost like it reprograms your brain a little bit, because we don't know how much it's going to mess with people's heads.
Yeah, I mean that's true. You're kind of saying
Nobody cheats anymore.
I want to revert everything I said, because I basically just made it sound like, oh, we men only don't cheat because we masturbate. I'm just
no. I think they'll get what you're saying, because you're just saying like men have
post-nut
sexual
clarity.
urges. Like testosterone is a bitch. It makes you like need to. I mean, not to be weird, but you need to satisfy that urge, and so that's why men beat off. That's like
you can give yourself post-nut clarity.
yeah, and I just think that if you could have like a model level girl, like, and you can do whatever sexually with them, and you can get that off, like, it's going to stop you from, stop crazy people from going out and forcing it. It's going to stop people from going out and having sex when they shouldn't be, like cheating. And it's also like for people who have social anxieties, it could help them. But also, like what you're saying, it could make it so like they never force themselves to learn how to do it in the real world.
That's the thing, right? Is let's look at it from a relationship. Let's say you have a sex robot and it's amazing, like from just not from an emotional level, just from a sexual level.
Which I'm sure it is.
Yeah, it's going to be designed to be. And then you get a girlfriend. What if a human just feels like shit after that?
Remind me, I have a.
It's like having sex but a girlfriend can only give you a hand job. You know what I mean? It's just different level. Would it ruin it? Also, think of the people. You could argue like people who. I went through a phase like this through school. Like I play video games all the time. Those were my friends. We're online.
Yeah.
But there's a way that isolates you from the world, because that's nice and comforting. I got my social interaction. What was good, what was bad about it is it makes me only want to get social interaction that way, not go out and meet people.
Or like you don't need it. Like if you're getting
But it's a healthy thing to get, so you do need it, but you feel...
That's what I mean. Yeah. And I was going to save this for the Christmas episode, but I think
Christmas? Dude, it's fucking... Wait, what?
I have a whole notebook of ideas and shit. There's a subscriber challenge right now. If we get 500 subscribers, I'm telling the crazy, crazy story.
Okay.
But
are you guys clipping this stuff and posting it on shorts and stuff?
I have a clip from last week's episode that I'm gonna clip out.
Don't just do TikTok. Do it on.
You know how I said that we're gonna make the new main labels when I get back from West Virginia? That's like That's like the date that I'm gonna start.
Make sure you guys do it. YouTube, Facebook, do all the.
I've been doing it on TikTok, but I'll try and get it onto other.
Marquise, you know about the YouTube Shorts, right? And do those too.
I'll do TikTok. You do YouTube.
Use the same clip on both.
No. He can at least show me how to do the YouTube clips. But anyway,
because basically every big social media platform has their own TikTok now. Facebook has one. Instagram has one. YouTube has one. I watch YouTube Shorts more than I do TikTok.
I'm gonna clip out this one funny part from last week's episode.
There's some
where
things from here you can clip out too.
We talked, yeah, for sure. But we were talking about Hulk having sex. So
anything that's clickbaity,
Yeah, but I want to talk about one of the strangest gifts I've ever received for Christmas from yours truly, Colin Scheuneman, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I know what it is.
It was such a.
You can't do this now, though.
What? You want me to save it for Christmas?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm not doing this now.
Okay, but
enough sex talk.
Yeah, enough sex
Move on.
talk. All right. We do this segment in the show now where I hand either Marquise or the guest the notebook, and then you get to pick a subject.
Well, we're at an hour 20 now. Is there anything you want to bring up, or you just want to just wing it from here on out?
Not that I can. I'll think about it as we go, but I'm kind of having like a boost of more energy. That's why I feel like we should do it for like 10, 15 more minutes.
You were grumpy pants when we first got here.
No, I'm not grumpy. I was just so tired. But I have to like prepare
You gonna be less
myself
grumpy in Florida?
What?
You gonna be less grumpy in Florida?
Yes, I need vitamin D and vitamin Miami.
Oh, I can give you that.
But sometimes when I'm doing podcasts, it just sucks because like halfway through, I'll get like into it and I'll be like, okay, yeah, I want to do this and I can do this. But like leading up to it, it's just like I get nerves and shit. So I'm like just feeling in the mood to like keep going with it or whatever. So I wanted to go. We could stop now, but I wanted to do like 10 more minutes or whatever.
Yeah, go for it.
But yeah, I want you to pick one of these subjects and whatever sounds most interesting to you. And some of them we've covered, but as you can see, they have strange titles that are cryptic and confusing, and I'll explain them to you. It's fun, but
some of the names you have on here.
I know it's pretty wicked.
Talked about Florida.
I'm so excited for Florida. I want to go alligator hunting with Marquise and Bob, and you.
I want to talk about Florida.
Okay, well.
So so like I'm kind of my thought process of how we're gonna do that. I mean, obviously we're gonna have fun and just do it. I'm talking about our vacation.
Okay,
we're
so
doing, like in September.
Yeah.
I don't really want to make any solid plans other than I want to pick a couple of the. When I say cities, they're all in Tampa. It'd be like saying like Westerville and
Districts,
Hilliard.
really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's still Columbus, right?
I want to try and find the coolest mall.
Yeah, no, we should make so we're gonna check out some of these cities and we should go and just walk around and see what the vibe's like. Like I said, where we're staying is kind of like the short north. It might be an area we might want to be in. It's really close to the airport too, which is nice for when we get off the plane.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I have a list of I was like, this is where the famous people live. This is like the party area. This is the
How many famous people are living in Tampa, Florida?
Tom Cruise.
Really? Well, I mean, he probably has like 8 houses.
His main residency is here.
In Florida? What the fuck? Is there a Scientology base in Florida?
Billions of dollars in real estate.
Do you think you could ever get hooked into Scientology?
Oh, we're not talking about that. That's so silly.
I couldn't even imagine falling for shit like that. I'm so good at like seeing a scheme. Like I can't. Like you're not gonna hook me up with the alien civilization and.
But we're gonna go. We're gonna go. Yeah, we're gonna show, and we'll go to the beach. And Marquise talked about pier, Clearwater. I don't know if it's like the best in Florida, best in the country.
You want to
like
get a hand job on a pier?
No, like it's like sweet there, super awesome. St. Petersburg. Oh, the castle. We gotta go to the castle. So in St. Petersburg, I've been there a couple times. It's kind of like a modern hipster vibe. I got like it's money, but
good
kind of
hipsters
like
or annoying hipsters.
It's kind of like it reminds me of Bridge Park.
Okay.
You know the place in Dublin that like where Vaso is, the rooftop bar that we went to. It reminds me of that area kind of.
Okay.
But bigger. But there's a place there. It's a huge 3 or 4 story castle. Like it's designed to look like a huge castle.
Is there like stuff to do in there, or is it just
club?
Oh yeah. We got
every story is a different theme.
I want to get medieval on that bitch.
It's not that. It's like every story is a different theme, and they change each week.
That sounds awesome, actually.
So when we went to the one. There was a BDSM theme, but like
crazy.
Right, it's crazy stuff. And now we're back on. That's not.
You got to bring your leather gear.
No, but like, so have you ever been to the Haunted Hoochie?
Yeah, like once or twice.
So you know how there's like kind of like half naked, creepy, zombie-ish girls dancing in cages?
Yeah. So like BDSM with a spin to it, like a.
It wasn't like people tying each other up and stuff. No, it was just like it reminded me. It's like a Halloween party kind of. It wasn't in Halloween time, but there was girls in cages with like crazy makeup on and wearing crazy stuff, dancing, and it was cool. The drinks were good. It was, it had kind of a. You're not going to find any frat boys there. You know what I mean? Like it's a very like
chill spot,
alternative vibe.
Yeah.
You see some alternative. I mean, you know what I mean when I say alternative.
No,
people.
yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know if this is
not
in Tampa,
mainstream.
but there's this thing in Florida that I've always wanted to
Whatever
check
they
out.
got going on, I don't care if it's furry night. We got to at least experience it.
Me and Marquise have covered furries on the show before.
That was on their calendar. We weren't there for that day, but like 3 weeks, it was like this day is furry night.
I would love to see
Even if-
furries in action.
Even just for 10 minutes.
I would let the furries bring me into their group, and you're picking another topic after this. But I really want to check out. There's this thing in Florida where it's like the Simpsons town, like recreated. So you can go to the bar that
Okay.
the Simpsons have.
Wait, where's it? You don't know what part?
I just know
Florida's
it's
a big
Florida.
state.
I think it's in like the middle of Florida, but like towards the tip end of it.
It wouldn't be where we are though.
Yeah, so it probably won't be a thing we can do on our trip, but sometime when we live there, I want to check out that because they have like a donut shop, they have the Simpsons house, they have the bar, and
You know what's in Tampa though?
what?
Carol Baskin's.
Oh my God, can we go?
We can try to make an appointment if you
We
want.
don't. Us at Scheuneman do not stand by animals in captivity, but
But you got to see Carol Baskin.
it's a experience, and we
I
can
don't
ask
know
her
if
what
they're-
she did with her husband.
With all the media from that, I don't, because I remember I tried to see that if I could, because I don't know if you remember, me and an ex were about to go to Florida, but then we didn't,
Yeah.
not that long ago, and I had canceled the trip. But I remember after I booked it, I tried. It was right after Tiger King 2 came out, and I tried really hard to like book at her like sanctuary or whatever she calls it. And like you can find a lot of information about it on her website, but there's no like good way to make an appointment. Like I couldn't figure it out. So I don't know if it's overly complicated. I don't know, but we can at least go and drive up to it.
I think it's probably died down enough for us to possibly get a peek in at it.
I mean, it's definitely gated off, I'm sure, but like,
Oh no, yeah. I mean, like to get get a ticket or whatever you need to do. Like, I don't think it's gonna be.
or worst
packed.
case, we'll just take a selfie at her driveway.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
But shit, there was another thing I was gonna say. Well,
What do you really want to do, Marquise?
What do you mean? Hold on a second.
what do you want to do in Florida?
Like, I want to explore a lot, actually.
We do a lot of that.
Um,
But like, are you excited to like
I actually want to check out the skate park.
you like seafood?
I love seafood.
Seafood in Florida is
I don't
amazing.
Like fish,
'cause it's,
but I'll eat everything else.
it's right. I mean, it's at the beach, so if you like crab and shrimp and
Yeah.
stuff like, it's so fresh.
Just fish is just nasty.
Calamari is really good.
I'll eat
too.
calamari. I'll eat.
Ooh, have you ever had?
Yeah,
You ever had
fried
alligator?
fish. No, I'll try
good.
alligator.
Yeah,
for
they have
sure.
like fried alligator and stuff there.
I do want to go to a swamp.
Okay.
We should go to the zoo.
Yeah.
See how it is.
I told Marquise
See if I can butt fuck a gorilla.
if we each have $1,000 to spend, we'll have a fun time.
Oh yeah. I wanna.
Everything's paid for. All the big stuff's paid for. Got the car, got the place, got the plane tickets.
Oh. I wanna do everything we can. Honestly, I just like a vacation type deal, but like
Nothing's.
go to the beach, go to boardwalk, and then
So we got. Let's see. We got half of Thursday because we're in Florida at 9 a.m. So if you guys are like juiced up and ready to go, we can have a fun day that day. If you're tired, we can chill at the Airbnb. But we have basically all day Thursday if we're awake enough. And even you could take a nap till 2 or 3 p.m., get up and have a fun night. So we have half a day Thursday, all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and all day Monday because we don't fly back till nighttime. So we can hit like 4 or 5 cities.
yeah.
And these are all like all these places are within like 45 minutes of driving. So it's not like we're going to be, but I'm just looking forward to yummy food
Yeah, me too.
and just chilling.
Just a whole new atmosphere.
It's going to be getting cold here a little bit, a little chilly. Go down there. It's hot again.
Yeah.
But then we have to come back to this.
I know. And it's going to be a first time. I won't even
October.
want to go back because, yeah, it's going to be all new to me and I'm going to love it.
Motivating.
Yeah, that too. Definitely
Come
motivating.
back, and then as we're working, every day it's like working to go back there, go back
Oh,
there.
exactly.
House hunting's going to be kind of fun when we move.
It's going to be so fun.
Shouldn't be too hard. We're just going to rent, so.
Should. I don't know. Like, is there an area that you really like? Like, you want to be by stuff or like?
Well, that's what we're gonna find out, right? So St. Petersburg is really cool. It's probably too expensive to live in. Um, but I don't know. It's like if I've never been to Columbus sometime, how do I know which place to pick?
Exactly. Yeah.
Do I live in like in this? Cause like do I don't think we want to live in the city in Tampa. Like there's really nothing that we could rent that would be spacious enough for everyone.
Yeah.
It's all apartments and buildings and stuff, and but we can find a place like Worthington, nice-ish area,
Yeah.
live there, but you're not far from the city.
That'd be cool. Yeah. I don't know. I really want to check out the skate parks though.
Drivers in Florida, though, get ready for it.
Oh, really?
Crazy.
I've heard about that.
What I kind of like about Florida, though, is, dude, speeding does not exist there. I swear that you can't. Julian, the cops they're not chasing people, no lights on. They're just driving around like 90 miles an hour.
I'm not
Just
kidding.
normal.
When I went to Miami, like it was just people. The speed limit would be like 70, and everybody's going 80 at least. Like,
Dude, it'd be like the normal highway cruising speed's like 90 miles an hour there, I swear.
yeah, and it's like all of Florida. Like you catch yourself, like you pass the Florida state line, and then you just realize like I'm busting it down this road. Like
People are passing me.
you get used to like driving so fast, and then when you get back to Ohio, you're like, oh no, I need to stop it. It's like it's actually so different from here. Like,
Well, I think a lot of it, the cops have way more to worry about there. I mean, there's a lot of criminal activity in Florida. Like, it's a sketchy place sometimes. So,
yeah, certain parts of Florida are known for just constant shootings and violence, and it's like the hoods there they shit on the hoods here. It's bad.
don't fuck with the wrong people.
Yeah. And it's really certain areas. It's not all over the place. It's like bad and hood.
We're not moving to the hood of Florida.
Yeah. It's crazy. It just makes me think of a random thing really quick, but like it's crazy living here and seeing areas that used to either be nice and then they're turning into like subtly the hood, or like bad places turning good, but really like
Gentrifying places.
but like Worthington, for example, I remember like it's all like really chill and there's not too much to worry about. There's like very low.
This area
crime
is getting
rates.
worse.
Well, you would like when I was a kid, you would never see a homeless person in Old Worthington, or like crackheads, addicts, like whatever you want to call them, like crazy people on the streets, like getting in your face. You would never see that.
You don't see poverty here.
But now you drive through and I see people with signs right in front of the Jets Pizza in Old Worthington, and like it's just crazy to see. Like,
yeah.
and the other crazy thing about Worthington is it's like this nice area, but then if you go just literally over that, like past those train tracks, completely different vibe.
Well,
Like
that's what made
walking
Thomas-
distance from like shootings and drugs rampant.
That's what made Thomas interesting, is because you have people from over the train tracks, but then you also have a lot of people here living in $500,000 homes
yeah.
in suburban neighborhoods. So
And they also pull kids in from pretty far away.
Yeah.
So you'll get kids from like,
that's why
parts of
Kilbourne and Thomas are
Columbus.
so different.
yeah, it's wild. And I know.
What does Marquise need to know about Florida?
What does he
just
need
need to
to know?
experience it.
I think he needs to experience it.
I've been
I'm
there
more,
more than you.
I'm more not concerned, but I'm eager to see you tackle this flight thing, because I think once you
You'll
do
be
it,
fine. It's not
no,
that
you'll
bad.
be fine. But it's like it's gonna be a milestone for you. Like you can overcome this fear, because I mean you don't like heights, but you'll start to realize quickly that this is a thing that people do all the time, and incidents rarely occur. But it is a crazy experience to be on your first flight. Like, do you remember your first flight? It's wild. Like,
Well, we've been flying since we were young. So.
yeah. But I'm just excited for that. And then the fast driving, I think when you're living there and you have your car there,
Something comes
you're
over
gonna
you there,
enjoy that.
and like all of a sudden you're like cutting people off and driving crazy because it's just normal.
And I mean, we also have some stuff to learn about Florida. We've been there plenty of times, but it's gonna be crazy to like see if we start talking differently or acting differently or the things we learn.
Will the Florida
about.
man consume us?
Yeah, I mean it's wild. I know we're at like an hour and 40 almost. So
I'm getting. I mean,
I was
I'm
just
getting
gonna
tired.
I was just gonna tell this one little
Yeah, go for it.
story and then we can call it a day.
Gonna work all
Um,
day tomorrow.
so our mother is in Vermont right now,
Oh, you're telling this one.
and so she's like staying with her friend, whatever. And this is completely random, but I just thought it was interesting, and I wanted to see what you guys would do in this situation. But she's staying over at her friend's house, and then at like 2 in the morning, she gets a knock on the door, and then her friend goes to answer the door, and long story short, it's this kid that her friend used to kind of take care of, and
Foster parent.
yeah, I mean, I don't think she cares, but I wanted to be a little vague, but I don't really.
We're not using names. It's
Yeah,
fine.
so this foster kid comes to the door and he's like asking to stay there for, and
He'd just gotten out of jail.
yeah, he's in a rough patch in his life and not
So
doing
this
the
family
best.
fostered this kid. Didn't work out because kids in foster care typically are in and out of homes if the dynamic's bad. There's a lot of reasons for it. They have history. I'm not sure why. Dude gets out of jail and is trying to find a place to stay, so decides to come to.
Her friend's house,
Yeah.
and then I think he strategically probably picked like in the middle of the night, so it's like, oh, I'm tired, yeah, sure, come on in. But they pretty much told him like, no, I don't think this is really the best idea.
My vibe was the guy is like that was not the first time he had tried to do that.
Yeah, so you
They
get a little bit of a sketchy character, and he's asking to stay there, and then they're like, yeah, no, sorry, we can't do that, and I'm assuming he was probably pretty upset, but he walked off and did his own thing, and then like 20 minutes passed by, brick flies through the front window. He throws a brick right into their living room, busts the window, and they're like, what the fuck? Oh my god, freak out a little bit, and then they call the police, and
Crazy part.
they hear from the police. What was it? 28 other houses,
Did she tell
bricks,
you that?
bricks.
Yeah, he did it to 28 other people or something.
It
When they
just-
called the police, they said, "Sorry, we don't have anybody."
yeah, it's
They're very defunded in Colorado
Vermont.
or Vermont. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
no, but
Yeah,
like
Vermont.
it's certain places are really
Someone threw a
getting
brick
beat
through
up
the
by
house,
the defunding.
and the police said, "Sorry, we don't have anyone."
Not only
Have
one
fun.
house, but like went through the neighborhood and just brick, like
it's
just
be-
busting windows.
Because I don't want to get political, but when nobody wants to be a police officer, sometimes you need them.
I mean, people are wanting to defund and shit on the police, and I don't
I'll
really
I'll
agree
shit
with
on the-
this, but the
I'll shit on
cops
the-
are trying to get revenge. Like they're like, "Oh, you didn't need us, you don't want us, and
Yeah, it's
figure it
fine.
out yourself."
Look, I'm
Come
not
on, dude.
I'm not a police hater, not a police lover. I think it attracts a certain kind of. There are certain toxic traits that people can have that would make them want to be a police officer. For example, if you like want to have power over people, you might want to be a police officer. Or like if you were bullied as a kid and you want to get back at the world, you might want to be a police officer.
There's
So-
also a thing that like a lot of people, like if you criminals tend to be police officers. Like they'll turn around a little bit and then be like, "Oh, okay, I'll be on the other side."
Well, they want some kind of power, right? And
Yeah.
you are getting some kind of power. That's the whole thing. But I'm not. People are people, man.
I've tried to be open minded about it. I just
You can't just get rid of them, but they need. If I had the answer, I would preach it. I don't have the answer.
I've just personally had quite a few like situations with police where they
The
We're
likelihood of
total
them
dicks.
being an a-hole is high.
Yeah,
No one can
it's-
deny that. No one gets pulled over and says, "Oh, it's a good chance this guy's gonna be nice." Like, no, this guy's gonna be pissed off and annoyed.
But then when you see a good cop, that's really what points out how many bad cops there are, because when you see a good cop that treats you with respect, it's like, holy shit, like is he breaking the rules right now? It's like, no, he's not. He's just being a decent dude and like reasonable.
Well, yeah, and I sympathize with them a little bit because you gotta think. Let's say you're a police officer and you're like working a shift on the east side of Columbus or whatever, and all day long. You're breaking up fights with crackheads. You're going to domestic violence calls that are bullshit. You're pulling people over that are just blatantly lying to you all day, all shift for weeks. You're just getting bullshitted and thrown around, and you're just fed up with people because everyone's instinct is to lie to the police. So you're just so pissed off from people being annoying because you're just trying to do your job. Someone calls you, you go, and you're like, I don't want to be here.
But at the same time,
And
it's
then
like,
they get bitter because they
Yeah.
get mad at the world because they see the worst.
but
It's kind of like if you work in mental health, you see all these really sad people, kind of makes you sad because that's all you're seeing.
yeah.
If you see all these people doing shenanigans, it makes you mad and cranky.
But it's part of their job description to be able to handle
Absolutely.
that, which
And that's
is
where the
like-
problem is.
It's like going to McDonald's and complaining like, "Oh, I have to serve food all day." It's like,
Right.
that's your literal job. So if you want to sign up to be a police officer, maybe you should think about how patient you are.
Well, I think there's probably a lot of people that originally want to be a police officer because they think like, oh, I'm going to help people and do good. And then I don't want to speak for police officers, but I imagine when you actually do that job, you probably do like 10% good and 90% dealing with bullshit.
Yeah. And then also,
Like
it's
how
not
many
just
nights in a
so-
row do you want to chase the same crackhead down the street before you're just pissed off every day?
Yeah.
Or how many times in a row do you get a call and you're like, oh, these people again?
There's also the complication
Or
of
you're
like,
just walking down the street
not
and you
always
get spat
doing
on.
good. It's like sometimes there's a thin line of like, oh, am I like you may be stopping a crime, but depending on how you handle that situation, you could be doing way more bad than you are good because you're handling it improperly. So you're really fucking over some person's life that may be just making mistakes or like if handled correctly would be a really productive person in society. But if you treat them like shit, you're just really screwing their life up for a long time. And it's hard to bounce back from stuff like that. Like,
Well, I think a big problem too is to make a real change in anything, whether it's the police or education or whatever. This the core of the system is messed up.
yeah,
And you can tweak the system, make it a little better, but to really make it work well, you have to tear the whole thing down and rebuild it.
yeah,
And doing that's so much work and it affects so many things. It's just hard to do. And like, let's say you want to make school better, right? Because like school's basically been K through 12 for forever, you know? And we're at a point now where like 18-year-olds are kids, dude. They don't know what the hell they want to do. Why are we telling 18-year-olds to go and sign, like go to like it? The system's just not. The world's different, and the systems are the same, and it's weird to make them adjust to the modern world.
yeah. It needs to change because
But how do you do that? Because like, what do you do? Just completely destroy the whole education system and just rebuild it? How do you do that like that?
I just don't think. I mean, it's a whole bag of worms, but
I mean, like, what are you gonna say? Like, oh, hey, no school for the next 5 years while we rehaul the whole thing. Like,
it's like it feels like to me college is becoming less and less like useful in this world where you can so easily teach yourself things and you can make a career like on your own.
well,
And
yeah. The big problem with that too is you. Sorry, did I cut you off?
no, you're
Okay.
fine.
We grew up in a time, and our parents did too, where these like, you go to high school, you do well, you get into a good college, you do well, you get a good job. That was that shoved down your throat growing up?
Yeah, of
Was
course.
that shoved down your throat growing up, Marquise? Yeah. You go to college, that's how you be successful, right? So listen. So that's what was forced down everyone's throat. And you guys were in high school not that long ago. You know that, especially at Thomas, there were so many kids that like freaked out over getting into the right college and doing all this, that, and the other. Okay, so you have all these kids doing it. What do you think's going to happen when you have way more people going to college because you told them for their entire lives they had to? All of a sudden, you have all these people going to college, and there's not enough jobs for the fields they're going into.
Yeah, and
Because before, you had like, I mean, we still do have a split. There's still people who become plumbers and stuff, but you have this thing now where like people just, too many people are going. And now you have all these useless degrees, and now you have all these people with oversaturated industries. And then you're like, wait, why did I spend $50,000, $60, $70, $80, $100,000 on this piece of paper that's really not worth much.
Yeah, because they explain it to you as like a way out, and like it's just
But
gonna fall into place.
more
Like
and more
if you go to
companies don't
college,
care.
you got it. It's like it's not that simple. Like more times than not, you're not gonna be able to find a
Well,
job.
think about it this way too. Let's say you want to be an engineer. Okay, a lot of people pick that. Because a lot of people pick it, there's a lot of smart people doing it. Which means if you pick it, you're competing with a lot of smart people who want it more than you or maybe are better than you. So just going to college, just getting the degree, and just applying to the job, you might get something basic, but you're not going to do much of that. The degree only gets you maybe in the door a little bit. It's who you network with while you're there or outside of it, or like what skills you have as a person that you can apply to your field. Like it's not the paper doesn't get you there anymore.
I think they need to. Yeah, they need
It's
to
not
add
guaranteed.
some classes that are like about living life and not just like learn how to do math and have English. Like, no, you should have like a networking class. You should have like a business class. I mean, they have.
I think they
business
talk
classes,
about these
but
things. It's just networking's a skill. Like to go out in the world and everyone you talk to in the back of your mind being like, how can this be mutually beneficial?
Yeah,
Or like how can like what can you
even like an ownership class, like how to properly manage owning a.
but then you start going
apartment or a
down the weird
house.
rabbit hole of like buy my get rich quick book or like let me teach you how to be successful. Let me teach you how to network. For $50 to get my class, I'll teach you how to network.
But if you could get like a reliable teacher that's not trying to like get you to buy a class like that they're teaching, it's like no part of the curriculum that all schools teach. It's like so they're not trying to convince you to fucking give them money to get this book that they made about it. They're just
Here's a
going
deeper
off of the
problem.
curriculum.
What happens, let's say that you could do a class like that and it was widely successful and you made 1 million people leaders who otherwise would not have been leaders. You have to have followers to have leaders. So it's an unfortunate truth and reality in the world that for every big leader or every CEO or every boss or every like whatever, there's got to be a lot of people under them.
Yeah.
Because that's how hierarchies work, right? The higher up you go in the hierarchy, the smaller the percentages, whether it's wealth or whatever. So when you have people in leadership positions, you have to have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times more people under them that are doing it. And that's not to be a dick and just say like, oh, only certain people can be leaders. It's because if everyone was a leader, nobody's a leader.
Yeah, because that's the crazy thing is you need a team of people that are their job is to be a part of this process and to like
And their job is not
Not-
to be, their job is
not
to
in a
do what they're
shitty way, but,
told.
like do the grunt work. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't work unless you have those people, and it's like
But the
there's
sad
gotta
truth is,
be people that are okay with doing that with their life. It's like
well, and that's the thing is like, obviously you can do whatever you want in life and go for your dreams, do all that. But it's hard and not everyone can do it, but also everyone can't do it because if everyone did it, nobody would be able to do it because,
yeah.
you
Luck-
can't, it's just how it works. Or,
Luckily, some people just don't have that. Like,
well, it's the same
drive
reason
to-
like if everybody was, you have to outdo people, right? It's competitive. It's the same reason like the 1% of wealth, right? Well, if everyone was given that money to be in the 1% of wealth, then nobody would be wealthy. We'd all be the same.
Yeah. All right. Well,
This is going on.
no, yeah, this was a good time. We gotta get to bed to do various things tomorrow. So, this is a fun episode 26 with
A bit rambly,
the
but
boys.
it was fun.
Well, we're just getting into the
Yeah.
nitty gritty of life and the world as we know it. But yeah, next week we'll be having we should have Jack and Mont from VBM on. So
Make sure you get all the mics here for that.
yeah, for sure. So be on the lookout for that. That's gonna be a good one. We got a couple drops coming out in the near future. Some sooner than others. So I'll let you know the Love You drop is looking fire as ever. And pick up the pieces that we got on the website right now. The website is in the description. Go follow the Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube, like, comment. Please comment. We want the comments. and all that good stuff. We love you, and I miss you, and sorry, that was a meme from my childhood. But yeah, have a good one. Love you. Ciao. All that good stuff. Anybody have anything to say?
Too long of an outro.
Yeah.
See ya.